Baby. The grades are back. The grades are back. The grades are back. The grades are back. It's the football power hour, baby. Oh, the grades are back. The grades are back. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in. There's too many things going on right now. But you know what? The grades are back. The grades are back. So I just want to say just thank you for tuning in. It's that part of the show where like before the World Cup, I used to be doing a little bit of this thing where we pretty much just grade every player's performance based on how that position, the position that they played, and how they did in that particular game. So I just kind of like a lot of things had been happening, and I nearly lost those grades, but the grades are back, baby. The grades are back. It's been a little bit like I hope the stream reminds you of that moment when you take a test with a teacher, and then you forget about the test, and you think, oh, the teacher forgot those papers, the teacher lost the test or something, and then next thing they still show up walking into the class like the grades are back, the grades are back. So here we are. This is how we got here. So anyway, let's not waste time with it and go into the game real quick. So we are reviewing Manchester United versus Nottingham Forest, right? So let's just do it on the whiteboard like we always do real quick. And by the way, remember when we looked at this last time? This is a commotio cordis. Commotio cordis. Commotio cordis. Right? That rare situation in sports medicine that we talked about with Damar Hamlin. This is oh my goodness, this is just so messy. This is the electrical cycle of a heart, right? And you can tell over here that's the P, Q, R, S, T points, and this is sort of like the P right here, P, R. This is where actually on this wave, this is where the atrium squeezes, right? Sends an electrical message to the rest of the heart, and over here, QRS complex, it's where the ventricles respond in action to what the atrium did. And then on the T wave right here, this is where the ventricles depolarize and reset and get ready for the next cycle in the heart. And our boy Damar Hamlin, who's a Buffalo Bills safety, experienced a cardiac arrest situation on the field. And actually, the update on Damar is that I think I checked yesterday. He FaceTimed his teammates. He FaceTimed, he put up a post on Instagram and things like that. So he is alive. He is kicking, and we are. I am excited about his recovery. But anyway, that is what that was all about. I hope there's another flashback for you for the time when the teacher just like says, "Oh, you remember when we did this?" And you're like, "What?" Anyway, real quick, we're just gonna do the grades real quick of the Nottingham Forest game, and remember, it was David De Gea on a goals. And real quick recap on that. The game ended 3-0. Right, it started off with Marcus Rashford scoring first on the 19th minute, and then Martial around the 23rd, and then Pasta Fred with the unlikely goal on the 87th minute. But let's talk about that. The fact that the key moment obviously was that Marcus Rashford goal, the first goal. It's always the key moment. The all-important goal happened right there. 18th minute, Manchester United get a corner. And remember, it was Christian Eriksen delivering that corner, and it was a low-driven pass on the ground to Marcus Rashford, who it was a well-trained, crafted training routine where where Varane is the person who did a dummy run and then created the space for Marcus Rashford, and then Christian Eriksen is the person who took that corner, and it was all about timing because Varane's runs first to have a defender follow him and then change direction, and then that defender creates the space, and right there is Christian Eriksen making the run up to take the corner, and then Marcus Rashford is entering the space that Varane and the defender are clearing. So that was very, very not typical of Manchester United to be scoring from corners. But anyway, so David De Gea is the person that we also, I mean, this is the first person that we have to grade because we start with the goalkeeper this, traditionally. And for me, a clean sheet warrants an A. That's just like without saying. But also, special mention has to be given to the fact that David De Gea pulled out an all-important save when Nottingham Forest were now starting to ask questions and not be more reserved. I think we were already 2 goals up by then, around the 31st minute or so. David De Gea does I don't know why he didn't use his hands, but he hits the ball with like his shoulder, and I guess it's part of the reflex thing. Maybe it came off. I don't know. It was just like a little bit of a weird save, but it resulted in a corner. But the main thing is the ball did not go in, right? And the man gets an A, and he kept the team at 2-0 when the other team is starting to respond, and the momentum can shift at any moment at that time in a Premier League game. A team is starting to ask each to be like, yo, we're not holding back. We got nothing to lose. We're already 2 goals down, and David De Gea was right there with the all-important save. So big up to De Gea for that, and that is why he gets a nice fat A, And the next person that we have to give a shout out to is Malacia. Malacia, if you remember, Luke Shaw now had earned his place prior to the World Cup, and now Malacia was sort of starting to be a bench warmer. But Malacia came out with a very, very, very effective and efficient performance. He was never caught out off the ball as a fullback. He was there, even though he didn't have an assist per se. He did assist in moving the ball forward on the left flank after Casemiro slid and won the ball, and Malacia I think gave the ball to Bruno, who gave it to Rashford, who was running and did that really slick Ronaldo chop. Shout out to Pele for doing the first Ronaldo chop. We learned that that Pele was actually did the Ronaldo chop before Ronaldo. But anyway, Rashford right now did that chop to create space, to create a passing lane for Martial, and Martial was right there with the first time finish when that ball came. So all that's to say that Malacia took part in that passing sequence, and he deserves a little bit of a mention. Nobody ever mentions the people that pass the key pass, and the person that all those people, all those components are important in terms of creating that in terms of making that attacking phase effective. So Malacia, chapeau for that, and you get that A. And also, he as I mentioned, he was just solid. He did the job. Luke Shaw played a new position. That is, I think, when this is the first spit in the face by I guess spit in the face by Eric Ten Hag onto our captain Maguire, because Luke Shaw is right here taking a position that you play, and he's the prototype understudy to Martinez, and he did well on that position. Luke Shaw, for a player who's been bashed so many times, a player who was, remember Luke Shaw's trajectory. He was one of the hottest young prospects in English football, when he was a teenager. I think Southampton might have been where he came from. I can't remember correctly. But the main thing is that he was a very, very, very hot commodity. And then next thing, Mourinho took that man and, built him and then crushed him. He actually, just like how Pep called, what's his name? Pep called Calvin Phillips. He called Calvin Phillips fat. Mourinho has called Luke Shaw fat before, and Luke Shaw actually was like, I have a Wayne Rooney type build. But anyway, whatever. Enough about body image and all that. Don't forget to hit the like button, by the way, if you're tuned in. Thank you. I see some people over here. This is the Football Power Hour. We're doing a quick review of that Nottingham Forest game, and we want to make this really short. So anyway, enough about that where Luke Shaw has been. It is about where he's at right now. And Luke Shaw got that A because he took that position really, really like well, and he didn't look out of place. And my man, Luke Deshaw, killing it. The next person who gets a grade is Varane, Rolls Royce Varane. After after a World Cup, yeah, I think he was the first player to be playing a full game or like or to actually start. If I'm not mistaken, it could be I could be wrong on this stat, but I'll have to say it. It's I think he was the one of the first people that have had played at a World Cup final to be starting in the Premier League at least. So Varane, big up to you for just not looking tired and looking up to it and not having a World Cup hangover, because that's a thing. That's an excuse that's been used by other players before. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, another player who got his first Premier League start after the World Cup. This is what December 27th might have been when this game happened. But anyway, main thing is Aaron Wan-Bissaka, he got to get an A because he looked like he fit in. He was excellent defensively, but good offensively. But as you know, with Ten Hag, good is not good enough. It's clear. So Casemiro, the all important Casemiro, he got to get an A plus. He's the man of the match. Man of the match, Casemiro, because his contributions in the two goals. He had an assist for the goal for Fred on the last goal, right? That's him reading the danger quickly and passing the ball and giving it to Fred, who was on the left flank open. And that's amazing that he did that so efficiently. And also in the second goal that we won, and then that sequence on the left flank that I was describing with Malacia being part of it, Casemiro was the man who won the ball. So he has to be the man of the match. And how he takes play, how he controls the tempo of the game, he's just like on another level, showing us why we have been crying as a fan base, asking for a proper world-class DM. And he's a defensive midfielder that's at the peak of his peak right now. He's seasoned, he's experienced, and he's using all of that experience. So big up to Casemiro for that. Big up to you for tuning in. I see more people tune in. Don't forget to hit the like button, please. It's the Football Power Hour. We are talking about Nottingham Forest game that we played versus Nottingham Forest. These grades we're gonna get tossed out. But you know what? We decided it's best to just give the kids the grades, right? Why not just give the kids the grades? Because they deserve them. It was one of my favorite streams when I did the midterm evaluations. Oh my goodness. I can't wait to do the end of season evaluations. Anyway, Casemiro, he gets that A, right? Now we move on to another midfielder. Let's go to Ericsson. Ericsson. Ericsson, it's funny. He did the job. He was great, great assist for Rashford, right? With the corner, with the very all-important goal. But he can't be an A because an A assumes that he was consistent throughout the 19 minutes. And he has to get a very high B. I know he got an assist, but it's a B. And a B for the fact that he has to do a little bit more. And there hasn't been any long range threatening, or any other than the corner. We need to see a free kick that goes in from Ericsson. I am still waiting for that. It's a skill set that he has in the locker, and he still needs to do that. He's done that for Denmark. He's done that for Spurs. He's done that in Italy. Come do it at Carrington, Ericsson. Now let's go to Bruno Haram. Bruno is another one who's so weird because for me personally, he had an amazing game defensively versus Nottingham Forest. But guess what? You are not a defensive midfielder, Bruno. You're an offensive midfielder, an attacking midfielder, and we need to see more attacking output from you. I mean, we have to give you the flowers that the fact that he distributed the ball a bunch of times really well. He found Garnacho on the left and did, some really, really good moments where he controls the tempo. He's not, as I said, he's not Bruno Haram, so he's showing signs of improvement. But we need more than just that. We need a goal, we need an assist, a clear assist from Bruno next time. So that is the grade for him. Now Rashford, let's talk about Marcus Rakus Rashford. Great first goal, nice pass to find Anthony on the second half that Anthony should have converted. And you know what? Rashford right now is another person who was man of the match contender for me, and he gets an A. And then the person that As I mentioned, Anthony should have converted that. He gonna get a B minus. Cause this thing of like being a little bit too word complacent starting to creep in. He's got the complacency bug in him. It's creeping in. It's like starting to grow and it's showing and it's a little bit concerning. So Anthony, you should have buried your one-on-one chance, man. And but also we have to give him the flowers for the movement that he had to allow Martial, the Rashford Martial combination works on that second goal because of Anthony's movement. If Anthony does not move to make the defender run and follow him, Martial does not get that goal because Bolly also was caught in between two places where he's like, yeah, Bolly, Willie Bolly, I think that's his name, the number 30 center back for Forest. He was still like deciding, okay, is he gonna shoot? Is he gonna touch? And the moment that that is also being that contribution is Anthony's contribution to the game. So that's why we have to give him, we have to recognize. But movement is just movement. I can't be doing that movement. You can't be doing that movement. You're not going to get an A out of movement. That's for sure. Now, Martial. Martial gets that goal, right? He gets it should be an A because he got a goal. But just like Anthony, just like Ericsson, he's somebody that we have a high standard for, and it cannot be an A. It has to be a B because he also had another one-on-one chance early in the second half that he should have buried. So look at that. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. That's everybody, all the starters. Special mention got to go to Garnacho, obviously, because Garnacho came in and made an impact. And we normally don't mention anybody who is not a starter unless it's a really exceptional case. In Garnacho, exceptional. Eric Ten Hag, exceptional. You get an A for doing the damn thing, managing the game well, putting in Pasta Fred, who gets a goal. Who would have thought we'll be seeing, 2023 is on another level right now. I know this is like it's a beginning of a new era, where we see people like Fred scoring. So big shout out to, oh man, big shout out to Chris. Thank you for tuning in. It was a very, very quick review of the Forest game because I had the grades, I had the, some of the things written down, and I just didn't want to throw them away. I just had to just put it out there and just say this will also contribute for when we're doing the end of season evaluations. So big shout out to you for tuning in. We have to do the other evaluations, and they coming. They coming because we got just 2 more games to get caught up. So big shout out to you. Don't forget to hit the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. It's the Football Power Hour. It's the Football Happy Hour, as Chris calls it. So I hope I brought a little bit of happiness